Town board meeting. Can we stand for the pledge? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Peter Somerville, Town Council.
Mary Michael Dark, Town Councilwoman.
Town supervisor.
Randy Bates, Town Councilman. Brian Wood, Town Councilman.
Victoria Baker, Town Clerk.
Okay, any audience comments, please? If not, I make a motion to accept the June 25th minutes as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. There are no budget modifications nor transfers. I'll make a motion to pay all signed vouchers and bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Reports. All right, we have a few things going on which I'd like to share. First thing is the Rensselaer Park Tennis Court grant. I commend $124,000, 24,647 grant from New York State Parks and Recreation. So that's a tremendous uplift to finally get this accomplished. That 124 is 90% of the total. The other 10% is going to be paid for out of the money that was raised from donations or other grants that we received. That was great news. I spoke to Brian the day before on Monday because he called me that Department of Health is giving $12,000 to certain towns to get people out and moving about. So Brian thought it was a great idea to put it towards the pickleball court, the tennis court. Well, now that, and I agreed with him, but now that we got this huge grant, I asked him, I'm going to meet with Charles Welge from the Department of Health on the 20th. And I asked him about the Kenyon Road, if we would be able to use money there for a walking trail. So we're going to take a tour of that. We still have not decided on if we wanted to move forward, making that a town park. Jeffrey Bow Memorial Park. My feelings are naturally that I really would prefer to have a memorial park for Mr. Bow. I don't believe we're not going to have swings and rides and all that stuff. It's just going to be a nature type of thing. Tony Guadagno, prior councilman, and Jerry Finnan from the library are willing to walk with me and pick out a trail and get some different ideas of what we're going to do. But naturally, the $12,000 we'd have to spend there if we're going to designate it as a park. So, you know, either way, I'm going to walk with them on the 20th, but at the next meeting, or get your feelings on making it a Jeffrey Bow Memorial Park. The past has been where the expense, you know, it's not going to be a burden to us. There's nothing to mow. There's no, you know, it was, do we need another park? We have the hike preserve. You know, we have other parks, but this is a 53-acre park. And there's things that we can do there, like bike ride, that we can't do on the hike. So I'd like to keep that discussion open for the next meeting. If you guys will think about it, please. The next thing, speaking of hike, I met with Martin Brand and Diana, no, not Diana Hinchcliffe, Ann Rose. Lynn Love is no longer president of the hike. Martin Brand and Diana Hinchcliffe are going to be co-presidents. So I just met with them, got that introduction. And and that's it. They wanted to talk about the low level outlet. Because Bill Ryan, in his report, I'll read, but the next step with that is we're going to meet with the hike preserve attorney, our town attorney, myself, and the hike board. And I asked the water committee to please, when we find out that date, please participate in that also. So that's it. On Fridays, I usually walk with a few people, and we walk on CC Camp Road, which is full of potholes and it's got a lot of issues. And I met these surveyors. I believe Bradley, he works for Jason. What does he work for?
Who's that now?
Radley, CC Camp Road, DEC. He works for DEC. And they were putting up ribbons, so they're going to be changing some culvert pipes there and fixing the road somewhat. And what was upsetting to me, not upsetting, but they're going to start logging again. And last time they logged, they ruined our roads. And I brought it up to him that, we're going to close the roads. We're not going to let the logging trucks destroy our roads. And he said, well, maybe we'll get the loggers to put a bond in for $75,000. I says, no, it's costing us $200,000 to do Cheese Hill. Okay, well, I can't, whatever. It was closer, it's more than 75. So I said, he's gonna have to get a bond for more. So we have to pay attention to that damage.
May I speak to that?
Sure.
When Randy was in, he passed town, we do have town law where we have the ability to post, reduce, if road conditions are not permitting. So we'll just have to monitor. There's plenty of times a year when they can haul. Just has to be a situation has to be monitored, and hopefully we have a good working relationship with the loggers.
The last logging operation on the Gulf Road extension was after the problems on Kenyon Road. And I met with the logger, I met with DEC, and with that coordination, the project went well. There was no damage to town highways, and they were cooperating. They weren't moving logs when the roads weren't frozen. So,
Okay.
and that event worked well. It's not a guarantee it'll be the same, but at that time it worked well.
I wanted them to know that there was an issue and we're not gonna.
And there was a timber harvest. There was a timber harvest on CCC camp 2 winters ago now, and we were in communication with them. There's no real problem.
Okay, so, once again, I just wanted to bring that up. Last thing I want to talk about, because this is, I want you guys to know this. When we had the waste oil furnace installed in the highway garage, it was not placed in the same location as the one that we replaced. So I told Total Tool, I called them and said, it's too low. We can't get a truck in that bay and raise it. But they also sent me a bill for $1,729, which I'm not going to pay. That should have been part of the first contract. They put it in the incorrect spot. So, and I just wanted you to know that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So I believe that concludes my report.
I move we accept the providers.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We all have the budget versus actual. The only thing I have to change on there with the water committees on the water, we had put in that circulator or that mixer. And the accountant put in specialty equipment, so it's over by 922%. I believe it should have came out of the miscellaneous contractual line. So I will converse with him on that. But otherwise, I'll make a motion to accept his report.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. This is Bill Ryan's report. LaBerge and Associates will be providing me with an estimate to inspect the dam. I sent a FOIL response from DEC to LaBerge, and based upon that information, an estimate will be prepared for our internal use. The attorney representing the preserve has reached out to me and wants to schedule a meeting with me, John, reps of the preserve, and the attorney. I shall let you know as details develop. All applications to EFC have been submitted. Last week, I communicated with the attorney from EFC regarding the Section 202B proceeding. She appreciated our efforts and the follow-through provided by the town and the water district committee. There are 2 resolutions I prepared for the meeting, which should be adopted and self-explanatory. No need for a roll call vote. That's the attorney's report.
Make a motion to accept attorney's report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jason?
Good evening, everybody. Transfer station, nothing really to report there. Everything is running smoothly as it should. Highway Department, you will have an updated 284 agreement in front of you, which was later in the meeting to have that signed. It's basically the same road, just updated pricing. We are looking to move forward with Hale Road probably in 3 weeks is what my last estimate has been. We're looking to do our hot mix paving. Currently, we're scheduled for the end of August. So. Our bulk petroleum storage permit expires in September. I'm working on renewing that. There is a $750 fee associated with that permit that'll be updated. That is based on the number of gallons in the tanks.
Is that annual?
No, it's every 5 years, I believe. We're continuing our basic summer working. We're mowing, tree trimming, patching, grading, ditching, so forth. Albany County Soil and Water Grant application was submitted, and that was for 3 separate projects. One including a culvert pipe on Bryan Road that is failing, and replacing a 4-foot culvert with a 5-foot culvert. The other project is some ditch lining work to do on Smith Road and Knowles Road. And the third project, which I'm quite excited about, and hopefully we can get some funding for this, is to do a GIS inventory of all of our and to have the technology to go and exactly inlets and outlets of every single culvert pipe in town. Sure, the inlet side, outlet side, score them as whether they need replacement or in good shape, what type of pipe they are. And more importantly, with our signs, we'll be able to do an annual inspection. Once we know exactly where every sign is, I can send the guys out. We can go around, we can take a picture of each sign. We'll have a digital record of a sign inspection, which is the #1 cause of lawsuits for a highway department. So we'll see if we can get some funding for that. I'm pretty confident we will. And I think that concludes my report for today. Oh, I'm sorry, one other thing. I do need permission from the town board. There is a small drainage ditch behind the Rensselaerville firehouse that they have asked us to clean out. Probably an hour job. I just like permission from the town board to do that work. So.
I'll make a motion to allow the highway department to clean out the ditch.
All in favor? Motion carried. I make a motion to accept the highway.
Second.
Aye. Motion carried. Town clerk?
Everybody knows the numbers for the month of June. I spoke last time about the vital records that Melissa is organizing, logging, putting everything on a spreadsheet so it's easy to find. We were running out of space in our drawers, so things had to be moved around, and she's done an awesome job with that. It's hard to believe that August 1st, give or take, hunting licenses start again. Feels like we just got over that, but here it is again. So we're,
There'll be a lot of questions this year.
yeah, there's some regulations that have been changed, so yes, right. That's all I have.
I'll make a motion to accept the town clerk report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Code enforcement, he's not here. He's got the sheet. But, you see the sheet from the code enforcement?
Yeah.
You see it says building repairs, solar panels, new home construction. Shouldn't these have the valuation in there?
No, because you don't know what it is until it's done.
Well, but there's accessory building 10,000, building repairs
I think when
7,500.
you apply for a permit, you have to give an estimate of the cost.
Excuse me? Right, that's right.
I think when you apply, you have to give an estimate.
So accept the report. I'm gonna ask him to complete this report. Unless somebody wants to make a motion to accept it as written. The assessor, Vicky, you were typing away. Do you have a report?
I printed 7 copies and I forgot to give them to you, so I'll just read it to you.
Please, okay.
Very short, from Assessor Pete Kelly. For the month of June, the assessor's office received a total of 3 transfers, all of which were for estate planning. And they also completed the 2026 final roll, and it was delivered to my office, and is on the town's website and available in hard copy in my office as of July 1st. And that is Pete's written report.
I'll make a motion to accept the assessor's report.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Water sewer committee report. Let's see.
I just made it. I'm sorry, folks. Okay, hi.
Aye.
Nice to see you all. I got a phone call on the way here that I had to take, and I'm very sorry. I've been sitting out in the lot for 15 minutes chatting on an issue. So we have a kind of a small update. As you can see, they're all numbered. Number 1 on the hydrants. We did a flush with Ryan Tanner and a few other volunteer firemen. This is part of what's required by the EPA twice a year with their required for us to. We looked at 8 hydrants and we flushed them all, and they come out pretty dirty, but then they clean up nice, and that all worked really well. And that's been reported in the EPA. That's part of the EPA submission that John Van Schaik is working out with Jaren, and that'll go out in time by the middle of the month. That's no problem. The one thing that came up subsequent to that is what Ryan mentioned to me while I was there, Ryan Tanner. Could we get poles? I don't know what the technical name for them, but on Conklin, in front of Conklin Hall, they put in a new hydrant and they put an extension pole up so it's visible in the winter. And I think that's a great idea. So we have 14 active hydrants, only one of which is really inoperable and should be fixed. So I'm thinking that we're looking at a budget in September and trying to find out a cost and bring that to you and see if we can do that. It's nice for them. And then along that line, the committee talked last night. I didn't even get into the notes. Why don't we paint these hydrants? You know, so many of them look just terrible. So we're going to figure that out and come to you in September and have a plan and for painting the hydrants. I think that'll look a lot nicer for the town. Okay. Number 1, done. Any questions? Or enough? All right. The water updates. Andre Nadeau and I have been playing phone tag, and I haven't been able to reach him. And John Dolce and I have talked about a sampling of the problems associated with the curb stops being fixed by him, and I've been looking for a quote. I called him again today. I'm gonna try through the weekend, and John, if I see you next week, if he's been unresponsive, we gotta go to a plan B and go and do some bidding, I believe. Okay, and we'll talk to you about that. As you know, these curb stops, we've been surveying them, John Van Schaik and I, and we've gotten about halfway through them, and almost half of those that we've examined need some kind of work. Either they're buried under pavement, or they won't open, or they're bent, et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be a multi-year project to get all of them right, but that really is something we got to get done, okay? The number 3, the EFC disbursement process. Boy, we have gone over this, and I am still like, I feel like I have no clue. But we submitted on June 30th, got the details on the procedure. There's a contact EFC financial analyst, Jack Werner. Jaron and Brian have met about this, and they're working on a cash flow plan to give to you folks so that you can feel comfortable with how we're going to handle this financial stuff. And so we're really asking that Brian Fitzgerald, who's really going to be the lead on it, that your questions regarding this be addressed to him going forward. Bank accounts, invoicing. I have to approve the invoices, but I'm doing that in conjunction with John and the town, and we'll get there. So I'm sorry that we don't have a better answer, but right now, at least some high-end professionals are going to approach it and get it done. All right?
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
2 months ago, we passed a resolution requiring a detailed reporting.
That's what
Of
we're trying to get done.
expenditures.
Yeah.
And
That's why we haven't paid the last 2 types of bonds. It's just based on percentages.
Yeah, one of the things holding that up was some communications from EFC which have been received. The financial analyst who's mentioned in this paragraph, and now with him on board and the information we have from EFC, which really Jaron Carollo and Brian have gone over, we'll be getting a final plan to you soon, okay?
but should not the town board be involved in that
So,
planning, financial budgeting and so forth?
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So, I want to speak on that. There's 2 different questions here. The first one is, instead of doing 30%, 8%, whatever Titan bond bills say, we want to know, and Brian Fitzgerald does have the Titan bond contract states how far they go each item. So they're gonna give us how far they got on that plan of the pack. That part. The EFC, I didn't see Brian this week, the reimbursement, but I want to submit the $80,000 bond that the water district took out and present that first, plus the 8,200 from Titan bond, and see how long it takes us to get reimbursed.
Okay, good.
So that's what I did. But there was another question.
The report.
The report, yeah.
Monthly report.
Yeah, we're gonna, see how far in the contract. Know exactly. And I don't have that yet, so Don sent 2 invoices.
Should send 2 invoices, S1 through 5, partial payment for work performed, amounting to about $40,000 on the invoices.
We have not paid that yet.
Not paid yet. No. But, I mean, I looked at the tasks, I looked at the invoices, I spoke to Jaron about it.
I only saw
And
the 8,000 which we paid.
Yeah.
A $5,000 invoice.
Yeah.
Which we didn't pay because there was no breakdown.
And we
So I
asked
did
them to
not
give us a
see-
breakdown.
And I didn't see this $40,000.
Now, the 40 is a cumulative for all of them. There's one for about, where is it? I don't have it with me. I think it's about 30 and change.
You know?
I have a list.
Didn't you get that from us,
There is a bill.
Vicky? Didn't I send that to you?
But anyway, till that's clarified,
Okay.
I'm not.
I don't know how much it is.
I don't have it in here. I got everything but. I got the $8,000 one, that's it.
5,000?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the only one I know.
Do you recall?
Yeah, it's only gonna start on the one that I found. Yeah, that's the one, that's the only one I saw, just for
So,
five
but
something.
like 8,000.
It's dated June 28th. I just don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, here it is, the voucher right here.
Okay.
There's 5. 50, 50, right here. Yeah, 59.
So call it 6.
Okay.
That's the only
And,
one I
and it
saw.
says percent complete, 6%, but we didn't get, I did not, get a breakdown, Jerry, unless you did, and I didn't see it.
No, the breakdown that I've gotten, I asked Jaron and Brian to look at it and see if it was significant, was just a few lines in the invoice that reference the parts of tasks 1 through 5 and the percentages being done.
Okay, I don't even see that. I have not seen it. Like this invoice says, services rendered in accordance with agreement. That's it.
No. That would be on the one that I'm looking for here, that it was dated June 28th. I know I've seen it. I didn't bring it with me. And I don't know where. I thought it was given to Vicky.
This is June 1st.
And that's for what? How much?
It's for,
5,900.
yeah,
All right, I didn't mean to interrupt. you.
No,
But this is important that we keep revisiting it. And
We got to get it right. And it's not right yet. And it's really in the hands of Brian right now. Okay.
I will communicate with Brian on that to see where the breakdown is.
I just didn't bring it with me, but I have seen 2 invoices, okay, that I'm mentioning.
Okay.
All right. Number 4, we did just talked about it indirectly. Questions going to Brian about those invoices, and there's a question there. Number 5, we had an algae bloom, and then the hike was not continually, but pretty frequently, and reviewing the lake, but more importantly, we're reviewing the impoundment dam. So committee members are going there because that's really critical to us, and they're looking at the lake, and because the swimming is open, they're looking at that area of the lake, right? Number 6, we had a leak. I was on my way to vacation on Cape Cod when it happened, turned it over to Christina, and she and John Rice, process of elimination, figured it out that the pump house was running continually on Methodist Hill because there was a leak on Methodist Hill. They contacted everybody on Methodist Hill, and by a process of elimination, found out where the leak was, and the water was turned off. Okay.
Is people lived in?
Yeah, they were living. They had gone out and left 2 faucets on, running continually. How do you do that, right?
Water meters.
Where do we get those meters? Those people will be sorry, right? That's number 7, the hillside evaluation. There's a lot of rumors going on around here, and I don't think this is the right place to talk about that. But there, John, maybe I could speak to you afterwards. But we're hoping that the prime target residence property might be in the process of being purchased.
Right.
And we'll talk about it later, okay? Fine.
So-
I'd rather not mention any names here.
So we don't have to, but there's one property that's up for sale, so I didn't contact that property owner because they're selling it. I'm waiting for this, and the other spot is by Hilltown Commons.
Yeah.
So, maybe I should just pursue Hilltown Commons.
I don't want to go on the record. I got some, later on,
All right,
all right?
all right, so I'll update that, because we're at a standstill, and we're running, time is ticking here.
I agree. I mean, I'm really frustrated by it, but there's nothing we can do. Number 8, this is really for Bill Ryan. Bill Ryan has talked about coming up with a town ordinance regarding the water district and billing. Bill's not here tonight. I don't know, John, if you want to contact him and ask him if he's made any progress on it, but we'd certainly like to figure that out over the next 2 months.
Well, Bill Ryan has said that we need to come up with a proper billing system.
Did you find anything?
I don't know.
Okay, all right. When I get home, I'll look for it, okay. Number 9, the clerk. We've kind of reduced their responsibilities, but still feel that the amount of hours budgeted per month is really de minimis, kind of small. We'd like to go to 15 hours a month. We're not sure we're going to use all of them. I met with Vivian and Jaren a few times on this and the entire committee.
Are
If
you
we
gonna
go,
lose your clerk?
Vivian Galway.
Are you gonna lose her?
She had said months ago she'd like to step down, but she'll stay on until we find a replacement.
Okay.
And then she has agreed that we shouldn't even go out and look for a replacement this September. So I don't feel like anything's imminent. She's sticking with us through the end of the year.
Okay.
Okay. If we up to 15 hours, that'll be more than what's currently budgeted, but when we talk about the budget in the fall, we'll figure it out. Okay. The walking tour, number 10, John graced us with his presence, and so did Mary. And on a Sunday morning, we walked around the infiltration plant, the dam, and all the way down through towns for many of the curb stop issues and over to the sewer. And I think it was an education for everybody, right? And the entire water committee participated. Ed was there too. They couldn't make it tonight. So I think it was helpful to understand what's going on there. And John, you got to see some of those miserable curb stops, right? Right. Number 11, John Van Schaik is here. The easement on Magic's property. He's following up with Tim Lippert. Anything to say? All right.
Why are you following up with Tim? He's not gonna be helpful to you.
He will assess the wording of the easement to see whether that can ease the concerns that Magic has.
You should give me those concerns and let me handle that, please.
Okay, yeah, we have spoken about it, but yeah.
But put it in writing so I could
I'll
take care of it,
refresh. I'll refresh.
okay?
And lastly, August is coming up, and a lot of the members told me on Tuesday they're going on a forum in August. So other and making sure see coverage the way there was when I left last time. I think Christina stepped in. We have an emergency procedure plan that's pretty in-depth for all sorts of situations, so we feel comfortable about that. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right.
I make a motion to accept the water sewer committee report. All in favor? You look nice and shaved, huh?
Huh? It happens once in a while.
I know it's rare.
My wife demands it. Okay.
Library report. There is none. All right, let's move on to old business. Jason has the updated 284 agreement, which,
Motion for him to sign that?
Just
I make a motion that we allow the supervisor to sign the updated agreement for Howard.
all in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
And on that, everybody has to sign it. We give them a signed copy.
Okay.
You guys sign tonight, Jason? Doesn't have to be done today, but it has to be.
Right here.
It has to be.
I need
Oh, she needs 2 copies with actual
we have
signature.
another copy of it.
Yep.
Thank you, man. the update on the pickleball court covered on the update on the pickleball court in your report?
No, let me just read this. This is from Becca Patel. Um, uh, She attached here the original bid from Del Signo. $175,000. So, but she is going to give me, because we have to put it out for bid. So she's gonna come up with, apparently it has to be done exactly as she wrote this. So she's gonna come up with the actual terminology, so we could put this request for bid out. She also wrote that there's a chance that New York State may require us to do an engineered site plan. She's asking them that.
That could be costly, John.
Yeah,
You know, $20,000 or something, you don't know.
imagine for a pickleball court. No, we don't know.
You don't know.
So this says the New York State grant is a reimbursement grant and the town will have to front that money. But construction shouldn't take very long, and if we're on top of things, we should be able to turn a pay request around pretty quickly. I told her that, they should bill us as the work is getting performed so we could submit that and get the money, back, sort of like we're doing with the water district. It may be a little tight, but we should still be able to complete the project in '26. I will share a draft RFP in advance of your next meeting, which is the 23rd. This project has a lot of community support and volunteer effort behind it. I'm really glad we found out about the grant, that we could complete the project properly. All right, so that's the update. Under new business, there's 2 resolutions. I spoke to the town accountant, and this resolution says the town of Rensselaer Town Board authorizes the supervisor to open a bank account at the Bank of Greene County in the amount of $50,000 to pay expenses associated with the capital improvement project. So, Town of Rensselaer Water District project. The reason why we're doing this, so that we could pay out of that checking account. And so it's much easier to track and nothing will fall through.
It's 50 enough?
No. No, but we
Right.
agreed to front 212,000,
Right.
but I figured we'll start with 50. And then if we have to fund it, it'll be in $50,000 increments. So it's much
Okay.
easier to track.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we authorize the supervisor to open that checking account.
Under the
or
town
bank
of,
account at the Bank of Greene County.
A second.
all in favor?
Aye. Do we need to do a roll call?
No, no, he said no. This is another resolution. The town of Rensselaer Town Board requires that the town's building inspector, code enforcer, to prepare a list of all unsafe buildings, abandoned buildings or structures, vacant buildings or burned out buildings, and submit the list to the town board within 90 days of the date of this resolution is adopted. The reason why we're doing that is because, we're gonna go into executive session to discuss litigation, but the reason why I would like to do this is to alleviate the possibilities of litigation where we're picking on one person and not the other person. That's the real reason.
I don't see that solves that problem. Really?
solves the problem
of picking on one person or the other. This, though,
This doesn't do anything.
yeah, I'm nervous about how, not to jump on what you're saying,
No,
but
no.
I'm nervous about how broad this one sentence is. Because it almost seems like an impossible task to me to find every single unsafe, abandoned building or structure or vacant building or burned up. I'm like, what's the definition of all those things and who defines them? And then to find them all in that amount, it also just makes me nervous because it's like inviting us to find a million problems that I don't know if we can or can't find.
Well, so that's my, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, one quick, those definitions are in our zoning.
Yeah, the abandoned buildings or structures, I guess, is the one that sticks out to me, the most, because I guess I've frankly, just to say is like, I think I have barns on my property that probably fall under that. I think if you went around and looked, there's a lot of buildings that could fall under that. And to have to find them all, I don't know, I guess I want more specificity in this one than this one sentence.
It's too vague.
It
It wasn't well written.
my concern is that if we're about to go into executive session over litigation, we've already been in executive session over other litigation. If you identify all these people, then you have only one choice, but to address all those problems at once, and I don't feel like we're big enough. You address just one person on that list, they can automatically say, you're picking on me, you didn't pick on the other 90 people that are on the list. I feel like
Yeah.
we're opening ourselves up for more litigation to
Exactly.
do that.
That's, I think with this, just this one sentence, you can literally put anyone you want or don't want on it. It makes it trickier, exactly like how you're saying. Yeah.
I think once you do this, you make it public record. If you want the building inspector to give you a list of all of them, so that you have them as the supervisor, so you can kind of navigate through that, that would be my advice, because if you make this resolution and you identify 70 houses or buildings or structures in this town, and you decide that we're gonna have them take on the two highest priorities, the only argument we have is the public safety priority that we're addressing. We're just addressing them because they're on a specific route, or this person is being addressed because he's on a main road and more people see that than the person that lives on the back country
Yeah.
road. I think that we're gonna be going into executive session every month, going over,
Yes.
I'm gonna sue your ass, because to be
Yes.
honest with you, we've already had to kind of drop our pursuit of one. We
Yes.
have the one that we're not in litigation on, but the one over here on Sayer Road that we basically said, if we push too far, we ain't gonna, we're gonna foot the bill for it, and we don't have the money.
Yeah.
So, I would not be in favor of this, because I think that and I think Bill's gotta navigate us through this way to make sure that we're not, I wish he was here, because I would like
Yeah.
I'd like him to explain how this does not make us more susceptible to litigation.
Yeah.
By having a whole list, and we only have one part-time building and code enforcement officer, and if we send him down to take care of this one thing, if we're the last litigation was kind of like, why are you coming after me and not other places? And that's, I just feel like that's the same thing here. And now you just made it public, like you have to make it public, because the resolution's saying that you have 90 days to present this list, so in 90 days, we're gonna have this list, so.
All right, so I will, let me talk to Bill Ryan, see if we could clarify this a little better.
That's, yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
We agree with that? I mean,
Yeah.
two of us agree.
I agree.
Yeah, it's not even I'm like against this, I'm just like,
Yeah. I'm
the
against getting
language of
sued.
it makes, the language of it makes me nervous, because I'm like, this makes, again, it seems like an impossible task. It seems like an impossible task that only, sets us up for more trouble, not more clarity.
The problem I'll always have with it, and you only have to worry about it for like another year and 5 months, and then I won't have a word in it, but The problem I have with it is we are not a big enough municipality to take on the cleanup of all these places. And all these places go like this to the town and say, I'm not cleaning it up. Our only obligation is to sue them and clean it up ourselves, which we don't. So again, I've said it 100 times before, we're a dog with a big bark and no teeth. And I just need to know before I jump on this bandwagon that we have teeth and funding and indemnification to make this happen. If
Yeah.
it doesn't, we're gonna take on a liability all the time, and it's only a matter of time before somebody doesn't back down on a lawsuit because we didn't back off.
I thought we had laid this whole issue to rest. I really didn't think it would surface again.
All right, let me talk to Bill.
We said 3 times we didn't want to pursue the abandoned buildings thing.
We have to pursue the unsafe buildings.
By whose interpretation though?
Because we
Who's gonna
passed a
sit there and
law.
check every part of these buildings. That means he's gonna have to go to every house there is and determine whose basement is gonna cave in.
Yeah, and it's gotta be a third party.
How do you
If
do
you're
that?
gonna do unsafe, there's gotta be I don't know.
It's also the 90
hard, right?
90 days of it all, so when he misses one, again, I'm like, it gets, it's this one sentence I'd love to edit.
Okay. All right, well, let's continue. Any other audience comments, please?
I
I have a comment, and it's about this issue about the unsafe abandoned buildings. We have one in Preston Hollow that's right in the middle of the town. We have one that is very close to me,
Right.
that's right in the middle of the town on 145. I've been asking for several years now for something to be done about that. It is an unsafe building. My concern is it's very close to the 2 houses that are right next door to it. If that thing ever decides to burn, it's going to be a problem for the other houses that are right next door. It was a building that was inappropriately demolished or started to be demolished. And it's got police tape around it now with a sign that says, keep out, and that's the extent of it. So my concern is, we have these buildings, it's not a shack, it's not a barn, it's an old house that's falling down around itself. And it's, I guess, sad to me that we can't do anything about it. Somebody owns the building, but yet
So,
nobody is able to do anything about it.
We can do something.
Huh?
We can.
Well,
do
that was the
something.
whole point though,
exactly.
having a list to identify the properties. This resolution doesn't say that property owners are gonna be cited.
John,
It's,
I'm so sorry. Bill is on the phone. Do you want to call him from your phone?
Definitely.
He's gonna call you from his phone, okay?
keep watching that.
Yeah, which is great, because that's the whole
It's
question.
gonna be mad at me.
kind of creepy instructions.
Do you have it?
Yeah, because again, to say like, is there a way to make this say, we start with proximity, or we,
Hello, Bill.
Put it on speaker. It's not on speaker. It's not on speaker.
oh, it's connected to headphones.
No, it's in my hearing aid.
Oh,
You're listening to me, or I'm supposed to be listening to you?
Well, I think the point is that nothing is being done. Nothing.
Yes,
Zero. The last time something was done is we did an informal survey. And we asked the building inspector to cite these obvious deficiencies.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
There's some very obvious.
Right,
yeah,
but as a result of that, citations were issued and there were good results.
Yeah.
The point being now is, the building inspector didn't initiate that. It was, so,
and I really like that, and that's what I'm saying, I'm not against this, I'm just against this sentence, because it's so broad in such a specific time, I'm like, why can't we, again, we're just going into some council to talk about, why can't we work on making this a goal that is attainable in 90 days, where it's every house in the 3 hamlets that is cited within 90 days. Because those have to do with how proximity, how buildings that they could damage other people's property rather than just their own. I'm giving you as an example. I'm not saying it needs to say that, but I think that that is an attainable goal within this timeline that would actually, because to me, I'm like, then to what end? Because then we have this massive list that kind of doesn't really tell us where to start, and it's obviously going to be
But
incomplete.
it's not gonna be a massive list. There are not that many
I guess-
abandoned or unsafe properties. I mean, if you're looking at larger structures.
Yeah.
I mean, you know one when you see one.
I was, again, I keep thinking, I'm like, I think one of my barns is, do you know, like, I'm like, I think there might be more than
But
we
you're not
think.
limited.
Sure,
So
sure,
Bill
sure.
Ryan called me to say that he's gonna revise this.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss it at the next.
Because
Can you,
I agree with you, I like that something was put forward and then there was a bunch of things done that were productive and you were saying it came from our initiative, not necessarily the code enforcement. That's great, like, let's make something that is attainable, let's make a goal that accomplishes.
Could we just make the resolution say a list of all the unsafe buildings in the town of Rensselaerville? Because I don't want to hear the term blighted, run down, any of those other things. If it's unsafe, we should address it. We have an obligation to the public safety of the town of Rensselaer. You can have the biggest list in the world, and I would probably try to figure out funding to tear those buildings down if that was the case. But, you know, you gotta also keep in mind, in the house that she's talking about, making it not unsafe would be boarding up the windows. It's unsightly, but it would be safe.
Can you tell me, when you said you complained for years, can you tell me, because I need, the citizens are the only ones that, not that we listen
I know
to,
what
but
you-
we
No,
don't
no,
want to
no.
look for trouble. But if you say, hey, John, this is going on, I'd like to address that. Because I've really been trying hard. My goal this year was the blighted buildings or unsafe buildings. So you must have complained to Tim Lippert in right, and
It was not in writing. I think it's been 3 years, at least 3 years since that demo was started and then stopped because it was an unsafe demo. Along with that, the person that was demoing it decided to build a bonfire in the backyard, and I ended up calling the fire chief to put a stop to that because it was March and it was windy. I mean, these were the things that were going on at that property. Once that was taken care of, then I've just continually been asking Tim, what's happening with that property? That he has sent letters to the property owner, and that they do whatever it was that them to do to make the property safe.
Brian, excuse me, you say yes, but do you know that for a fact that he sent letters?
I'm not saying yes.
Oh,
I'm just
I thought,
acknowledging.
I'm
He's
sorry.
agreeing with her.
Yeah.
He
Okay,
told
I'm
me,
sorry.
Didn't
house
we-
she's
didn't we
talking
decide some of these to court and get a judgment? And did we work that out with Andy?
Yes,
But has any of that happened?
yes, like
Okay.
Lloyd, well, I would like to, do you know
we
which
have a
company?
conversation, you and I can.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Try to do it in writing, get everything in writing. And if, you know, like I said, I have poor attendance, I know, so I won't be here at the next meeting, but I really would prefer that it address unsafe buildings, not abandoned buildings, not vacant buildings, unsafe
Well, I
buildings.
totally agree. Right. I mean, if we have safe buildings, it should be addressed with a citation. To protect firefighters, neighbors,
Yes.
children, animals,
Yes.
pets. Why should we just ignore that and continue to? We can do a resolution to make a list. It's only a list.
Yeah.
It's not a requirement the citation be issued, but it gives us a picture of what the problem is,
Absolutely.
you know?
And I would invite the neighbors. I wanted to actually bring that up at a meeting, but I knew I was gonna get pushback. Like, if there's things that neighbors see that are not right, they should complain
So why can't
and
we?
copy the town board.
Yeah.
So why can't we pass a resolution stating the code enforcement officer to prepare a list of unsafe buildings? And that's all,
That's it.
within 90 days.
Yeah, I guess my only thing is what happens, and I'm asking this question, this is not me saying like I'm against it or not, is what happens when that list isn't completed in 90 days, or there's, like, we find more buildings after 90 days? Does the list continue to grow? Does it?
Well, there won't be that many unsafe buildings, it should be easily done. in
Yeah, there's not
Okay.
that many buildings in town that would be.
I agree, 90 days, it would be hard to find all the
Yep,
vacant buildings,
yep.
abandoned buildings, and all the other stuff. But the burned out buildings and the unsafe buildings.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
agree.
No, why not address it? Why not do a resolution 90 days and then we'll know what the issue is, how great an issue it is or isn't.
There's a house that was burned on Smith Road that Tim said he cut the electric off. I still see a meter there. I don't know if that means anything. But does it? So the electric could be cut off?
They'll pull the tap at the pole.
Okay,
So let's get the ball rolling.
that's what I'm saying. So we need to,
That's, it was just, I felt like it was so
I'll-
broad and such a
and-
short, yeah,
which is a good
yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah.
I'll make a motion that the town board requires the town building inspector and code enforcement officer to prepare a list of all unsafe and burned out buildings in the town and report that back to the town board within 90 days of today's date.
Brian, we can't do that now because Bill's
We have to
gotta
give it to
rewrite the
Bill.
resolution.
Well, we can make our own resolution.
Can we?
Of course we can.
Even though Bill said not to, even though Bill said not to?
We do it all the time.
I don't know that he said.
Every time we vote on something, it's a form of resolution.
Right, because we're not comfortable with it.
Vicky didn't capture it, or we got that captured? I'll second what you said, it's just, we make a list of all abandoned buildings,
All right.
No,
Unsafe, unsafe,
no,
Unsafe.
unsafe. and burned
Unsafe.
out.
burned out.
unsafe.
So we have a second.
So this is, can I just read this then? What you're saying?
I just read it. I read it exactly like I wanted to say.
I know, but I didn't have it in front of me, so I didn't,
But that's not what I read.
I'm not hearing you.
What you have is not what I read.
Okay, so what's the resolution? That's what I'm asking.
The town board, I make a motion, the town board requires the town's building inspector, code enforcement officer to prepare a list of all unsafe buildings and burned out buildings and submit the list to the town board within 90 days of this date.
Okay,
Period.
period.
Done.
Okay. Who made the motion and who seconded?
I made a motion, Pete seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
I have, if anybody talks to the water and sewer people, two things. The hydrant painting, I read an article one time, you could do two things. You could make like a community competition, where you paint your own hydrant and you get an award. Whether we have some boat money left over to do something like that, or you can get somebody to fire department to handy up money or something, get a few extra bucks now, and give like a $250 gift card if you're the champion painter.
Sure.
So there's that. And the other thing is if somebody goes and looks at the hydrant on the hike or not the hike, by Conklin Hall, pretty sure those things are just a piece of wrought iron that is bent around one of the caps.
Yeah,
You
rebar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rebar, and small, and you could just make them yourself and put a little reflective, you could weld
They
like
just
a
look
little
like
two
tag
by
on
two
top.
with a reflective, like marker from like a driveway marker or something. Probably much cheaper than buying a commercial.
Yeah,
And then the last thing I have is I understand that the heating and air conditioning bids are coming back on the 22nd of this month. If you would like, I would like, if it's possible, to have my dad meet you here on the 23rd, you, Randy, and my dad. That way, on the 23rd, and I won't be here, but we could make a motion to award the bid so that, we're not putting in heating and air conditioning in January. I mean, it's probably gonna not get installed until after the hot season, but for the love of God, this has been a long time. Like, we awarded Bow contract back in February, and here we are. So if that would work for you, I'll tell my dad tonight and I'll text you guys.
Yeah, I,
Fine with me.
fine with me.
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss litigation, potential litigation.
Nikki, we're supposed to be